What's up, gamers? Welcome to the next episode of Seven Nights Updates. This is the update for August the 3rd that was completed. So let's get started. Well, actually, before we get started, last time on Dragon Ball Z, we had a lot of people complain about the whole key situation, where they didn't like the fact that keys were bundled into this whole thing of collecting everything at once because everyone wanted to save their keys and not have to, do that. Personally, I don't think that's a big a deal as everybody made it to be. However, one thing I will give them credit for, as far as that update was concerned about combining items, those little shards that you get for doing the whole limit break thing, that made things so much easier because back when you had to send off your heroes to do it and you got a bunch of stuff back, you had to click on each little diamond individual or shard or whatever they're called individually, and that was tedious. With the update, they made it to where you can just click one button and collect them all. So honestly, overall, that was actually a really good update. So I am finding out that complaint wasn't so great. But onward to the new update for August the 3rd. Now, obviously, this video was not created on August the 3rd because of, life scenarios, but I would try to give you these updates within a few days afterwards, worst case scenario. So basically, they go over the last time on Dragon Ball Z updates, and then they go on to the new stuff. And as far as the new stuff, it says we have added a new member of the Revolutionaries, a new Awakened Valikia, a new costume, step up summon event, a new event dungeon, new quest icons, and much more. So let's see what's going on. First and foremost, we have the new hero Ryan. That's the new revolutionary hero. Waiting for him for a while. Offensive, so he's a physical guy. Let's see what his awakened abilities do. So I'm going to go over the names, just what they do. So the awakened skill inflicts 100%, 150% physical damage on all enemies 2 times. Bleeds the enemy 5 times at a certain rate. When activated, inflicts damage of 15% of max HP. Now, you guys need to take kind of pay attention to this part because this is gonna, because I already kind of went through this myself. This is actually gonna explain the difference between bleed and burn. A lot of people do not know what the difference between bleed and burn damage is and how it works. You're about to find out with Ryan and the next hero. So going over bleed. When activated, inflicts damage on 50% of max HP. The bleed debuff could activate with a basic attack, a counter attack, or a speed attack from the enemy. This debuff will only activate when the damage is received. So basically, if you take no damage, it doesn't happen. Additionally, decrease the enemy's magic attack by 60% for 2 turns. That had nothing to do with the bleed, that's just in addition to what he already does. So, to kind of sum that up, what bleed does is that any basic attack, counter attack, or speed attack that person does is when will cause the bleed to damage to actually affect. Of course, in order for it to work, they have to actually have taken damage from the skill itself. So if the skill that they did to do this ability dealt no damage, they're not going to be inflicted. So there you go. The passive ability of Ryan becomes immune to all attacks for 4 turns, which is actually good. Massively increases crit rate, that's really good too. Additionally, increases all damage inflicted on enemies by 50%. Pretty good. Increases accuracy rate of all allies by 4 turns. That's pretty good too. Because I'll tell you, Klahan's a pain in the ass. And then the first active skill inflicts 150% physical damage on one enemy 4 times. Piercing will take effect. Piercing is a very good thing. Additionally ignores the enemy's defense. Even better. Anytime that you can pierce and ignore defense is really, really good. Good combination. Next active skill inflicts 80% physical damage on 4 enemies 3 times. Piercing will take effect. Another piercing. So he has 2 active piercing abilities. I'm already sold on this guy. Anytime both of your active skills can do pierce damage, I'm good with it. And then, of course, bleeding the enemy 5 times at a certain rate. And then, of course, the same thing from earlier as far as how the bleed debuff works. Now, the percentages are going to be different based on the other ones. I think this one is 15% of max HP, whereas the first one, okay, it was also 50%. So, yeah, everything's the same. So, I don't have to really go over that again. The next hero that they have now Valikia has been around for a long time, but now they finally awakened her. Let's see how she is. Her awakened skill, it now increases the magic attack of by 200% 5 times. This also applies to counterattacks, speed attacks, and stacks with normal attack increases of magic attack increase effects. So basically, it stacks with other abilities that increase magic. All magic type allies become immune to all attacks for 2 turns. That's not bad. And then her passive ability now becomes immune to all attacks for 4 turns. That's actually pretty solid for her. Reduces the magic damage received by all allies by 50%, and which is we're kind of used to that. And increase the magic attack of all magic type allies by 40%. That's pretty cool. So the fact that she becomes immune to all attacks for 4 turns makes her actually usable in PvP, arena, you know, Guild War. She's actually usable now. That's what that part means to me. First active skill. Inflicts 60% magic damage on all enemies 2 times. Increases the damage by 60% each time an enemy dies. Burns the enemy 3 times at a certain rate. Now you got to hear what the burn status does. When activated, inflicts damage of 20% of max HP. The burn debuff will activate when a skill is used or when hit by enemy skills. When the debuff is stacked, it will spread to one other team member. When stacked, the count will not refresh. So let me kind of break that down for you. So when the person is inflicted with burn, the burn deals damage whenever the burn character uses an active skill or when an enemy uses an active skill against the target. Now, bleed only activates if the person inflicted does a normal attack, a speed attack, or a counter attack. This is skill based. So when skills are done, then they bleed. So that's the difference. It's really timing more than anything else. And then, of course, the it will also spread to one other team member if stacked, just like the burn thing. So basically, they've been bled in twice. The bleed status has been inflicted twice. It'll spread to somebody else. So there you go. Now you know the difference between burn and bleed, everyone, because that's been a hot topic for a long time. And I'll be honest, for the longest time, I didn't know either. So I was in that club too. I just had to figure it out for myself. But now that we actually see an explanation, I'm cool with it. Next active skill. Inflicts 60% magic damage on all enemies 2 times. Additionally, inflicts damage equal to 30% of the max HP. Burns the enemy 3 times at a certain rate. So, I mean, as far as her active skills, it's nothing special. It's just more of an update and explanation of what the burn mechanic is. What's really good about her is her passive ability, more than anything else, in my opinion. Becoming immune to all attacks for 4 turns means that she actually survives for a while. And then, of course, reducing the magic damage received, that's normal. We've had that forever with her. And increasing the magic attack of allies with 40% is pretty strong, too. I mean, like I said, Mage Bait's teams are starting to make a comeback, and I think they're going to be good. I'm going to try testing it out. And an awakening skill is pretty good, too. So, assuming that everybody survived up to that point. Step Up Summon. So, I always recommend using Step Up Summon. Why? Because it's the cheaper version of just doing a regular summoning 11 heroes for 250 rubies. Basically, in this instance, your first attempt is at 170, your second attempt is at 200, and your third attempt is at 230. And then after that, you then have to pay the regular 250 you normally would pay to get 11 heroes with a chance of getting a special. And just because they're advertising Ryan doesn't mean you can't get somebody else. I've done Step Up Summon before where I've gotten other special heroes. So even if you don't care for Ryan, this is still worth it. You're getting a discount on getting 11 heroes and getting a chance to get another special. It's worth it. And then, as far as rewards, the fourth time that you do this, you get a 4-star fire element. The fifth time, you get a 6-star Warlord item selector. And then on your seventh one, you get a 4-star Ryan. I'm going to obviously go for the seventh, like I always do, to get the hero in question. Just because I'm a collector. Will I ever use them? I'll put it to you this way. If I do use them, it's going to be months from now. Because these heroes take forever, at least for me personally, to get to 40. I don't really spend a lot of money on this game. I mean, honestly, I probably spend about $20 a month on this game. And that's only to do the Maze Lucky Box and Maze, calendar event. That's it. So that's not enough for me to really be able to get all the special heroes I want when I want. So it's going to take me a while to ever even use this guy. I'm not going to use him at level 30, or even if I get a second one, I'm not going to use him at 32. I don't think he's bad. I just don't like using heroes that are below level 40. I mean, I might use a 38 if there's like a specific ability I need, but for the most part, you got to be level 40 plus for me to be worth using. Now, if you're a player that uses people that are like level 36 on average, and yeah, once you get them to 36, maybe 34, go ahead and use him. That'd be great for you. And just because he's on level 30, 32 doesn't mean he's not going to push you far in arena, because there's definitely other heroes that have been pushing people high in arena ranking. New costumes. So basically, Ryan, you have a costume for him, you have a costume for Valikia, which honestly, the only reason to really get it, if you're not an artsy guy, is just, or girl, is just to get a better boost in your stats. And then Alicia has another outfit as well. So there you go. If you like the outfits, pick them up. In celebration of the event of the new Awaken Ryan update, to celebrate the Awaken Ryan update, we have prepared 3 events that you can participate in easily. Please check below. So the special dungeon, basically they've doubled the amount of awakening shards that you get. And I actually tested this earlier. So if you're doing hell mode, instead of just getting 15, you get 30 shards, which is what I did earlier, and I'm so happy about that. They've been really generous lately about giving us shards, I've noticed, and I've been taking full advantage of it. So definitely worth doing. And hard was still pretty good too. Instead of getting 10, you get 20. Like I said, it's all doubled. So that's really good. They also have a new special dungeon for Ryan. Not to get Ryan, but to get Ryan's equipment. So if you want a collector to get his items, and his items are probably pretty good, who knows, this is your chance to basically stock up on them. Now, you can do this 3 times a day, and you can do this either on hard or normal. And even if you don't get what you want, you can get 5-star items that you can use to power up other equipment. Still worth it. I will, at the end of the video, be demonstrating this on hard mode. So if you want to check it out later, stick around and you'll see it. And this just kind of explains the details there. They're also doing the gift box. So basically for 14 days, each day you log in, you get a free item. And after you get the free item, you got to wait 24 hours for the next one, just like you always do. And this is just a list of things you can get each day. Just as a note, one of the best ways to utilize the 4-star and 5-star hero selectors, if you're not going for anyone specific, is to use them to fill your puzzles on the 7 Nights puzzles. This is actually the easiest way to get some of the heroes maybe on the later levels that are harder to get. This is the best way to get it. Anytime you get like a hero selector, look at your puzzle, which ones are going to be the hardest to get, especially on the later maps, and get them so you can fill it out faster instead of having to constantly play and play and play and hope to spawn them. And then, of course, the leader icon system has some updates. They basically added a few more tiles. So, if you're interested in checking this out, and here are the numbers right here, you can pause it if you like. I'm not really going to go over this, but, it's good to see. They also changed the level requirements to get certain quest icons. I'm not going to go over this entire list because it's a lot, and I really do other things in this video, but this is kind of a start right here of everything you can get. So if you want to pause or anything, if you're really interested in reading this, there you go. Oh, they also have new special hero event package. I'm sorry, new special event package. This basically means spend money to get this, spend money to get that, and spend money to get that. I'm not going to really push the money events. It's always there. It's going to keep popping up when you log in anyway. You don't need me to tell you about this. Well, the only thing I ever really talk about money-wise is the Maze Lucky Box and Maze Calendar, only because, in my opinion, especially if you're on a budget like myself, this is like the best way to get ahead, if you will. It doesn't give you everything you need, but it'll get you further up. And then, of course, the rest of it is probably going to be, Alice's gift. Right now, if you do spend money, you'll get rice cakes, which is actually pretty good. I actually like the rice cake awards. Unfortunately, I did mine before the update, so I only got elements or something, but I don't care, but I get too many of them anyway. So, they have a new pet for Ryan, and then they have. I'm sorry, they have a acquisition rate is up for Ryan and for the special pet Rachel, which is like the Rachel version of the pet. So I just said it wrong. Raid buff heroes are now Black Rose, Sarah, and Pascal. So whenever they're ready, use them to easily do the Awakened Dragon. Guild War restricted heroes is now Ballista, Rory, Karen, and Sarah. They are now restricted, so make your teams based on what's here. Don't forget to update your Guild War teams. I always tell my guild members this, at least when I remember. And the miscellaneous stuff is typically things that you are no longer happening. Maze Lucky Box has ended. All this other kind of stuff has changed. So there you go. You can look at that at your leisure. Now let's see what you guys actually want to hear. Because you don't want to hear what I have to say. You want to hear what everybody else has to say. So first and foremost, let's take a look here. Haha, told you guys. Told you guys so. Look what they did to Ryan. Not worth the 400 shards. Alright, so before we continue, I think that the special heroes costing 400, I think is an okay amount. I don't really think it's that big a deal, in my opinion. I think the special heroes should cost a little bit more because, they're considered special heroes and not heroes that you would normally be able to get. And their heroes are actually good in their own respects, whether we believe it or not. But I think that they're worth it. The only thing that bothers me, even though it was worth it, having to spend 500 shards to awaken someone, that's a bit much. Because I think that's how much it costed to get done, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's freaking fantastic, but dang, 500 is a lot. But at the time, we were at a time to where shards were not that easy to get. Whereas now they're actually a lot easier, so I guess now the price makes sense. But back then, that was just ridiculous. I just happened to be very persistent and was able to collect a lot of shards, but man, that was a lot. But anyway, so let's see what comments we get out of this. Let's keep going. Oh, this is going to be a long one. Alright. It says, what the fucking hell now, Marvel? What is your problem? You took away Ryan's niche and gave him tons of bleed to make up for it? He isn't worth the shards in the slightest. He's not even worth the free 3 to 6 star hero tickets. He's essentially a fodder hero because you guys wanted Klahan to have evade. This is the kind of shit that makes you lose your player base, and you make ridiculous OP hidden masters and take away what makes characters unique for the sake of the ridiculously OP hidden masters. I was actually excited since we were finally getting the last revolutionary after about half a year and you gave us this? I'm at a loss for words, despite this long paragraph. You guys say you don't want to be like it? Well, guess what? You aren't. You're becoming a flaming garbage pile of a game. Wow. Pretty abusive. So basically, just looking at this for the first time, it seems like maybe he's under the impression that this guy has been nerfed or something. There's probably more to this than what he's saying. It's just that looking at it, you're like, so, okay, so he doesn't like his ability. You think the bleed thing is bad. I'm going to be honest with you guys. You should never judge a hero by what you initially read. A lot of times people make the mistake of thinking a hero's garbage and not using him. And then all of a sudden they become tier in arena and you're like, oh, I thought he sucked. So I would not take this seriously. I would honestly wait till you get him, use him, and then decide after using him at the proper level, which for me would be 40, but at the proper level, use him. And then if he sucks, then complain. But don't complain upon release. Just because the skills to you don't look as good as you think they should be, doesn't necessarily mean he's trash. He's probably worth more, and we don't know it. Moving along. I'm sure there's people that responded to this. Says, what? How is Ryan isn't good? Maybe I didn't read his skills carefully or something else, but he looks so much good for me. He do counter all teams. Magic, plus tanks, plus evade? That was a good point, despite the grammar. I just wanted to ask Netmarble something. Do you guys think Magic meta has ever started to counter it that hard every time? Mm, I'm not going to answer that one. Finally, Android lag free. I guess not many people noticed it. What? That's just funny. Anyway, moving along. Ah, he actually responded. You're right, he's good. Oh, sorry. You're right, he's good. The not worth the shards of free to six star hero tickets is more just personal anger over the loss of his uniqueness in favor of making a character who is literally better than the revamped the KR version. Alright, so basically what he's saying, he's making a comparison to the Korea servers because our servers and the Korean servers are completely different. Korean servers are actually ahead of us. They have a lot more heroes. They have a lot more going on than we do. They have heroes that we don't have, but we actually have heroes that they don't have. A lot of people don't know this, but I don't believe Korea has the collaboration heroes. So, well, anyway, let's continue. You know it? The version where the heroes are insanely broken and wouldn't translate well into global? And it's obvious they're going to take away what makes just about every character with a unique niche and unique in favor of some OP bullshit. That just helps Kohan be even more OP. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys right now, I think that people need to stop making comparisons as far as us in Korea and then making these judgments based on the difference. Because the thing is we're different servers. We're gonna have different OP people than they are. It's not that big a deal that the version that we have is not the same version that they have. He does not have to be super duper broken. And let's be honest, we do have people that are broken in this game. So I don't know if I could really get behind this complaint. I'm not really behind most complaints anyway. I usually think all complaints are garbage for the most part, but I'm just saying, as far as this is concerned, I don't think it's that big a deal. I really don't. I still think that on paper he looks decent at the very least, but until you've actually used the character, don't talk about how terrible he is, because clearly, since the update just came out and you're responding before you even have him, or maybe you have one at level 30 and you're like, man, this guy's garbage. Okay, level 30 doesn't mean crap. Push him to 40 and then, see what happens. And I bet you that probably within the next month or so, he's probably going to be a top tier character and you're going to be eating your words. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that he's going to be top tier. I think he's decent, but like I said, I don't really know how I feel about him yet. I mean, I think he has some good abilities, especially against Kahan. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he did make a statement that makes Klahan better. How does building a character that beats Klahan make Klahan better? Just marinate on that for a while. It might give Klahan a little more attention, but not better. Well, anyway, I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. This doesn't make sense to me. Now, in my opinion, hidden masters should be better than the revolutionaries anyway. They're hidden masters for a reason. They're supposed to be really, really good. Like Miho is freaking fantastic. At first, got her, I was a little iffy about it, I pushed her, and I was like, she's actually pretty good. Oh, she is really good. I started like slowly realizing this woman's fantastic. So the hidden masters are hidden masters for a reason, and just because a revolutionary hero is weaker than a hidden master doesn't mean that it's a terrible thing. I mean, honestly, I don't even think the Revolutionary heroes should have even been special heroes. And I honestly believe the only reason that they're in the special hero slot is because of Alicia's ability to block debuffs for 2 turns. That's the only reason that the Revolutionaries as a whole is in a special slot. And in my opinion, they shouldn't even be there because the majority of those heroes are kind of eh. Let's just be honest. Like, I don't know. So, continuing on. Oh, lol. I did forgot how Ryan's new revamped skill in Korea. That way I didn't know about this unique skills. I just saw from what we have, and it's just going to be good against both magic and tanks. Not Marvel trying to make physical speed teams more powerful again. Well, so basically, he's basically saying, "Oh, okay, I didn't understand the whole Korea thing because the guy didn't really say nothing about it in his first post." Either way, just because Korea has something on their server doesn't mean that we have to be the exact same. Now, some people might be opposed to this and say, "Why not? Why shouldn't the game be the same across the board?" Well, the thing is, I'm not going to answer that because I don't work for Netmarble. So you can ask them if you want to know the reason. But personally, I don't think it's that big a deal. When I see a hero, I'm not judging a hero based on what he is on another server. I'm basing a hero based on what I see here and how he produces here. And I think people are jumping into conclusions too fast off of just reading some text. Use the guy, then come up with a legit opinion about him. Moving along. Trash after trash. Man, this is just trash bucket up in here. Oh, James will love me hearing me saying that. Anyway, fire your design team if you want to make money. Okay? Roro was and still is horrible. PvP specialist that can't PvP properly. Ryan and Valikia PvP oriented but have no hit shields. One Clancer hit is all it takes to kill them. Do you think we own infinite top tier Guardian rings? Alright, I have a lot of problems with this message. First off, trash after trash, that's just funny. That's probably the best thing he said, he or she. Fire your design team if you want to make money. That's a stupid comment. Okay, first and foremost, their design team is actually pretty good, and they've done a lot of good things with this game. In trying to tell a company or trying to threaten them with money is not going to make a difference. These companies are making money because people that have money want to be the top, or they're collectors and they want to have everybody as soon as possible, you know, done. So small things like, I don't know, their design team is not going to make everybody say, "Oh, I'm done with that marble. I'm not spending no more money." No, that shit doesn't exist. Let's just be honest. Moving along, Robo was still horrible PvP specialist that can't PvP properly. Now, as far as that statement's concerned, I have no comment because I don't use her. She's not high enough level for me to use her. Ryan and Valika PvP oriented but have no hit shields. Okay, did I not just mention that Valikia now has a pretty good, a 4-turn immunity to damage now? Did I not read that? Uh, as far as Ryan's concerned, I actually don't remember what he has, but well, we'll look that up. But yeah, I have a problem with that because it just doesn't. It's not logical. Now, next one says, "But Valikia worth it. Damage boost for TOA." I agree. The skill icons are too small, especially on a mobile device. You guys should have made this change in arena only. Now I have to really carefully see where to click on so my fingers doesn't accidentally touch the wrong skill. Also not a legit argument because I'm a big guy with big fingers and I have no problem selecting skills. So if I can do it, you can do it. People are just finding reasons to complain. Well, that kind of team includes Klahan and Miho, so they got to get rid of anything that would make them non meta. Not necessarily true. The developers of the game are not saying, "Man, this guy's too meta, we need to break him." I mean, yes, that does happen occasionally, but there are other teams that are good. People just haven't figured it out. So, what I promised to do for you guys, which I'm going to go ahead and do now, is show off the special dungeon on hard mode for the Ryan thing because I want to give you guys a little bit of action instead of just me talking the whole time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my fat fingers to actually tap on these small icons. That's so difficult, and see what we can do. So we're going to go to battle. We're going to go to special dungeons. I'm going to move my icon out of the way because in my first recording, I accidentally tapped the spot and closed the recording, thus ruining everything. Anyway, so the team I'm going to be using. So basically, I'm doing this on hard mode. You have to fight against Ryan, Kyriel, and Alicia. So let's see what happens. My battery's low. Alright, well, let's make this quick. Yeah, after you make so many recordings, it becomes kind of a pain. And your battery drains fast.
I will punish you. Time to say your last goodbye. Arise. Take their souls. Are you afraid?
Now, the reason I actually use Dylan's skills in the opening because I want him to get awakened as soon as possible. So that's part of why I'm doing that. Also, I kind of wait on doing the whole skill upping after they do some abilities just to make it longer for them to do other skills later. So now I should be able to take a little more advantage on now that their skill counter is up a bit. Unless they have an awakened skill, which they do.
Reflect on your actions.
Now, thankfully, I only have one round of heroes to beat up, so once I kill these guys, it'll be done.
Arrow of starlight, pierce through the darkness. Today's menu is what? That's not fair.
That's actually a pretty good ability.
Light,
And good timing, too. No damage taken.
You will not be forgiven for this. Kneel before me. Strength of a lion. I will punish you. Time to say your last goodbye.
Unfortunately, Ballista is not going to be useful anymore. But that's okay.
Reflect on your actions. Are you afraid? Your end.
Yeah, we almost got this beat.
Why don't you dance with the king? How foolish of you. You can't stop me.
So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I hope this has been very adventurous for you guys, educational, maybe a little entertaining. I'm more of the educational type, but if I was able to entertain you, that's just an added bonus. This video is going to be over as soon as this battle is done. So until next time, you guys take it easy. Time to say your last goodbyes, ladies and gentlemen. See you next week.